guys, a part of chapter 9 of 4. Oh, I forgot where I left off. Ah! Ah.
呢個蘋果你食咩？你而家上緊課咩？呢等。
Sorry guys, my mom. Oh, good. Where did I left off? Oh yeah, okay. I started from here. I randomly selected one and hesitantly made my way toward it. I pursed my dry lips together and stared at the murky water that filled the sewers. I scrunched my nose and furrowed my brows as the sickening stench filled my nostrils. I took a long moment before placing my naked feet into the water. I quivered and gagged at the slimy feeling of the sand I stood on. Though I couldn't see it past the gray water, I began to shake my body violently in an attempt to direct myself from the obvious water that was mixed with human byproduct. I forced myself to continue trudging through the water, gagging very so often. The tunnel became dark after I entered it. I used what was left of my willpower to keep traveling. And the thoughts finally began collecting into my mind. Had the clown taken me here? Why the sewers of all places? Who is he? I shook my head, avoiding any other questions. Then I threatened to grow. After a long minute, 5 at the most, found myself nearing a corner, and just the faintest glimpse of light bulb began running my hopes of growing. I would get out and things different. Sure, I just got here, but no way I'm staying here after a killer clown from outer space kidnapped me. I continued running, weak smile prying myself onto my face, only to be torn away in a split second. The arm wrapped around my waist and pulled my back so fast I looked down only to see an all-familiar arm. Not that disembodied arm, but its brother, less great, as I was pulled back into the sewers, closer and closer to the large room with infinite pile. Without a second thought, I was violently thrown into the damp encampment. I landed on my belly while my cheek smacked against the rough floor. I let out a weak cry, caught my hand to push myself back up. Not onto my feet, but enough to sit up. I didn't bother to turn around because I already knew who was behind me. I hesitantly spoke, but in a hushed tone. Who are you? Silence. I took a long drawn out of breath, forced myself to turn around and face the lanky clown. He stared at me with a serious look on his face. His eyes flaming with an orange glow. His eyes were so noticeable. A shiver ran down my spine as we made eye contact. For a moment, I thought he would run at me and kill me, leaving a question unanswered. But instead, the clown threw his head up. His eyes shifted to a bright green blue, while his frown transformed to a wide grin. Oh, how rude of me! Clasping his hands together before continuing. I'm Pennywise the dancing clown. He wiggled his body practically to show off the jingling bells that coated his outfit. And I called you rude. I didn't even introduce you. He laughed at himself before looking at me once more, as if he could sense fear, discomfort growing. His smile fled from his face, and a serious look returned through his eyes remained blue. Fear is all he uttered. He made his way toward me, and I took it as a sign to crawl away. I began to practically push my body away from him, since I had no time to get up and try to run. Pennywise made his way toward me and kneeled down, resting his chest against his knees before moving his left arm to grab my wrist. He seemed to refuse using his right arm. That was the arm that I had broken off of him. I gathered my hands, pulled them to bring my trembling body closer to him. At this point, our faces were only an inch apart. Pennywise stared down at me, his blue eyes staring into my wide B/C eyes. My mouth sat slightly agape as he seemed to study my eyes. He tilted his head, but that's all he did. I took this as my chance to study him. But my eyes couldn't leave his own. They were staring with such intensity. It was as if neither of us could part our eyes from the others. That's when I realized he had the slightest hint of a lazy eye. That didn't take away from the intent stare he gave me. I had no clue what he was going to do. He was so unreadable. You're so serious, sweet, defiant whisper, before slowly lowering his head to my neck. His mouth began to open as my teeth switched to sharp like rows of jagged teeth. He then bit into my flesh. I let out a moan of pain and practically tried to escape his grasp, but to avail. He didn't tear any of my skin away. Instead, he just sucked on my red blood. His eyes seemed to roll back as he drank from me. My frantic movements began to slow as I felt my body becoming weaker. I could feel myself becoming pale. Stop, please, I cried. I thought it was more of a nearly unheard sound. My eyesight began to grow blurry in and out. My eyelids began to grow heavy, and then he pulled away, raised his now blood-covered mouth, and studied my face with his glowing orange eyes. He placed his left hand onto the back of my head and gently lowered me to the command before standing up. I saw him staring down at me before I fainted. My eyes slowly fluttered open, but my body refused to move. I could just barely turn my head, but the pain of bite wound left by pennywise sent a wave of pain through my body. My mouth opened as I gasped in pain. I straightened my head in an attempt to not move it. I forced my hands onto the ground and pushed myself up to sit up. I took a deep breath before lifting my head to look at the ground. That did not last long. I let out a squeak of fear when I realized that Pennywise just sat in front of me watching me, studying me. I stared at him with wide eyes as he stared back with calm ones. His eyes were blue at the moment. I assume when his eyes are blue, he isn't very hungry. Or he's at least calm. My chest heaved up and down as I took quick-paced breaths. Pennywise sat on his rear, his long, skinny legs extended outward. As his arms sat loosely in front of me. It was obvious that he was slouching quite a lot. Okay guys, this is going to be the end of this video because I gotta eat. So yeah, I hope I remember my parts. See you guys on the next video. Bye bye.